Well, on his last working day as the Chief Justice of India, Justice S.A. Bobde today took up the Suo Motu case regarding the supply of essential drugs and vaccines during the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. Firstly, a senior advocate Harish Salve, who was appointed as the amicus curiae in the case yesterday, recused from the case. He submitted before the three-judge bench of Chief Justice of India S.A. Bobde and Justices L. Nageshwara Rao and Ravindra Bhatt that there have been allegations made against him since he knew CJI SA Bobde during his school and college days, and that he was appearing for Vedanta in one of the matters, and that there was conflict of interest, and thus Senior Advocate Harish Salve should recuse. He submitted that he does not wish this particular case to continue under a shadow, and that's why he was recusing from the case. The top court has allowed his recusal, but noted that appointing him as an amicus curiae was a collective decision of the court. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta submitted that such digital media broadcasts which often abuses such senior lawyers accepting the position of amicus curiae, etc., should not lead to such a senior lawyer recusing from the case, and that it should not be agreed and accepted as a pressure tactic. Justice L. Nageshwara Rao asked Senior Advocate Dushyant Dave as to why did he made certain comments on the Supreme Court order even before the order was released, and that his comments were basically made on perception since the Supreme Court did not order the transfer of the cases from the several high courts to itself. Senior Advocate Dushyant Dave particularly stated that certain objective criticisms only strengthen the court. Senior Advocate Dushyant Dave was appearing for Gujarat High Court's Advocate Association, which had sought to intervene in this particular petition. There was also a war of words between Solicitor General Tushar Mehta and Senior Advocate Dushyant Dave, when Solicitor General of India said that Dushyant Dave was basically making statements based on perceptions and that senior lawyers cannot make such statements. Senior Advocate Dushyant Dave said that Solicitor General should be the last person to make such a statement since he defends the government primarily on perception. However, Solicitor General of India Tushar Mehta sought time from the court to furnish his final reply on behalf of the central government, and that is why the case has now been adjourned to next Tuesday. This case will now be heard by a fresh bench since the Chief Justice of India S.A. Bobde today demits office. In other case, the same three-judge bench of the Supreme Court headed by Chief Justice of India S.A. Bobde also continued to hear an application by Vedanta seeking to open the Sterlite copper plant in Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu to manufacture oxygen and supply it free of cost. However, Senior Advocate C.S. Vaidyanathan, appearing for the state of Tamil Nadu, stated that there was trust deficit in the state with regard to the Vedanta plant, and that the district collector had conducted a meeting today morning itself with the locals, and that there were immense resentment in the local area against the plant opening up. He feared that there could be a law and order situation, and that there should be some time given for the state government to reply. Chief Justice of India S.A. Bobde noted that the bench does not have any particular preferences as to who manufactures and supplies the oxygen, whether it's Vedanta, some other manufacturer, or the state itself. In fact, the Chief Justice of India at one point stated that the state of Tamil Nadu should take over the plant and manufacture and supply oxygen, and that it cannot cite law and order situation in a particular area when the entire country is battling with the shortage of oxygen supply. Senior Advocate C.S. Vaidyanathan has now been permitted to file an affidavit from the state of Tamil Nadu to showcase as to how the state government will now arrange and produce oxygen to meet the country's demand. Today was the last working day of Chief Justice of India S.A. Bobde, and tomorrow Chief Justice of India designate Justice N.V. Ramana will take oath as the 48th Chief Justice of India. In the farewell function today organized by the Supreme Court Bar Association, Justice Ramana clearly stated that times were such that no one was being spared by the lethal virus, and that some strong steps would be needed by the Supreme Court in the future, and he sought cooperation from both bar and bench regarding such strong measures to be taken in the near future. Senior Advocate Vikas Singh spilled beans on certain less-known secrets about CJI SA Bobde and stated that when Ayodhya hearing was going on, CJI was of the opinion that mediation was the only solution. Chief Justice of India was among the 5-judge bench then headed by the then Chief Justice of India, Ranjan Gogoi. Senior Advocate Vikas Singh said that as the hearing progressed, there was a point when Chief Justice of India SA Bobde had spoken with Senior Advocate Vikas Singh and had asked him to speak with Bollywood actor Shah Rukh Khan and to see if he was interested to be part of the mediation committee so as to bring the communal tensions to a cordial end. Senior Advocate Vikas Singh stated that he had spoken to Shah Rukh Khan about being a part of the mediation committee of Ram Janmabhoomi dispute and that he had agreed to be part of the mediation committee too. However, the later mediation committee formed by the top court fell through and could not arrive at a consensus. Most of the people who spoke at the Supreme Court Bar Association's farewell event for Chief Justice of India SA Bobde noted his deep passion for literature, poetry, sports. In fact, Senior Advocate Vikas Singh noted that it was his Harley Davidson which had stirred the controversy last year when he rode the Harley Davidson and got injured by its stand. He stated that he had mentioned to CJI SA Bobde that he had a Harley Davidson bike, to which CJI said that he would want to have that bike. When Senior Advocate Vikas Singh that you can have it if you pay the market price for the same. But Senior Advocate Vikas Singh mentioned that the bike was a heavy one. To this, the Chief Justice of India then had stated that he was accustomed to riding bikes. SA Bobde on his farewell event in his conclusive speech stated that today he went through the emotion of being speechless because he had to say a lot. He mentioned that it was the Supreme Court of India that was one of the best performing Supreme Courts all across the world during the pandemic and that it had seamlessly adopted to the function of video conferencing procedures and that it had worked even more days than regular years compared to the pandemic of COVID-19. The CJI also stated that there should be special focus on communication and relationship between the bar and the bench and that such mutual respect and communication was extremely important for the safeguarding the independence of the judiciary. The CJI did not mull much over media but stated that the role which media plays in interpreting the relationship between the bar and the bench is something which needs to be looked at. Well, that's all from Supreme Court Today. Do stay tuned with Supreme Court Today on Monday as well. And don't forget to like and share barandbench.com.